Hello, I'm Dr. Stephen Hassan, and several years ago, my Simon and Schuster book, The Cult of Trump, a leading cult expert explains how the president uses mind control, came out, and now we're on the cusp of the 2-year anniversary of the January 6th violent attempt at a coup. The January 6th committee has delivered their voluminous report detailing that it was Trump who was directing everything. I think it's really important at this time that we not only realize that there's a problem with Trump and all of his supporters who denied that this was an attack, direct attack on democracy, but also to consider malignant narcissism as a plague on civilization around the world. Every dictator, Vladimir Putin, Kim, all over the world, the narcissism, the grandiosity, the entitlement, the transactional nature, the lack of empathy, combined with the thinking they're above the law, the pathological lying, the paranoia, the sadism, the threats, the harassment, all these characteristics are extremely toxic and dangerous for humanity. I really would like to encourage people to think about the fact that when I wrote this book in 2019, I said if Trump wasn't reelected in 2020, he would probably not just deny that he lost and say that the election was rigged, but that he would probably incite his followers to violence, just like Jim Jones did when he was confronted by Congressman Leo Ryan. So I really want to encourage people to think about having open congressional hearings on the whole issue of brainwashing, mind control, psyops, QAnon, which, by the way, QAnon is flooding back on Twitter in huge numbers, to educate the citizens of America, to educate politicians about how to understand the difference between due influence and undue influence, which was the subject of my doctoral dissertation, in fact, in my effort to provide a framework to update the legal system regarding undue influence. Because currently, we know that if you're a minor, you can be unduly influenced, or if you're elderly with dementia, you can be unduly influenced. But the law does not have clear and fair and just criteria to evaluate case by case the influencer and the influencee and their control over. And when the influencer has authority, whether it's a priest or a therapist or the president of the United States, they have an outsized influence over everybody else. And while there had been prosecutions and convictions of people who showed up with violence, the Oath Keepers, the Proud Boys are going on trial, and many other people were arrested, Trump has yet to be charged. All of his officials, the people in the media that were saying that we need to go and object to the peaceful transfer of power, we need to have a framework where we can actually prosecute incitement of violence based on undue influence law. So I'm suggesting two critical pieces be put into place. The open congressional hearing, bringing together top experts, former military intelligence officials who know about PSYOPs, who've been doing PSYOPs for the US government, need to explain how it's being done on American citizens and citizens around the world. We need to unpack and expose the QAnon as a cult, a PSYOP cult, deliberately engineered to polarize people, to get them to believe in conspiracies of the Illuminati and trafficking. By the way, I've been studying trafficking, sex and labor trafficking for a really long time and done a good deal of research and writing on the subject of how to preventively educate people and help them to wake up and get out of it. Folks, we have a public health emergency. We have an epidemic of undue influence. The social media platforms are exacerbating the problem. Unprecedented levels of depression, anxiety, suicidality. People need to understand, step back, and start thinking about what's healthy, what are real values, and get away from this selfishness is good and greed is good and who cares about everyone else and social Darwinism, and start living the golden rule. Don't do to others what you don't want done to you or your loved ones, period. We need values. Again, it's really critical. So I'm going to be doing a special exclusive January 6th YouTube Live with Q&A for everyone on my email list. So I'm asking people, if you're interested in my work of 46 years and my 4 books and my course for clinicians and others to understand undue influence, please go to freedomofmind.com/subscribe, and you can have access to this. I plan to create a lot more exclusive content for subscribers, and we really want more participation from everybody. We need to educate. We need to think about this as a public health emergency. We need to do preventive education or inoculation against the mind control virus. We need to develop programs to help people who have been radicalized, who have been changed in a fundamental way in their values and beliefs. And we need recovery services for people coming out. And to that end, I'm part of a group of former undue influence survivors who are doing a hashtag #IGotOut in an effort to destigmatize the whole notion that people are walking around thinking only weak people get into cults or only stupid people or uneducated people. No, everyone is vulnerable, especially if you think you're invulnerable. And as technology keeps evolving, we need to start using our wisdom and our ethics to think about our children and our grandchildren and future generations. So let's have a great 2023, and let's roll up our sleeves, come together as people, and find real solutions and not just be reactive. Thanks very much.